is the Regina Stanback Stroud Award. Dr. Stanback Stroud served as the Academic Senate President. She was a longtime CTE faculty member, served in a variety of administrative positions around the state, and is now consulting and doing an amazing job helping our colleges around equity, diversity, inclusion, and anti-racism. The Stanback Stroud Award is given annually to a faculty member or faculty members who consistently work with our cadres of students to help them face the challenges and rise up to support them. Dr. Stanback Stroud could not be with us here today. She has sent a video.
Good afternoon to my colleagues here in the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Anna Julia Cooper wrote, "Only the Black woman can say when and where I enter in the quiet, undisputed dignity of my womanhood. Without violence and without suing or special patronage, then and there, the whole race enters with me." She's talking about representation, affirmation, and validation. She's speaking of the embodiment of grace and the ways in which her achievements represent not only her own hopes and dreams, but the aspirations, hopes, and dreams of her people. So I'm here to honor the life work of Dr. Paula L. Parker. Her work is centered on confronting the racist foundation, practices, processes of our current day academy. We may not like the history, but it is American history. The fact that our system and tools were developed by active and proud eugenicists leaves us with the current day realities, whereby, without even looking at our data, we can predict the student outcomes and experiences by race. She will tell you, though, that she didn't invent the wheel for Black student success. Indeed, Black students need what white students enjoy every day in the American educational system. They need affirmation and validation, love and respect. So Dr. Paula L. Parks creates this reality for students, and we've much to learn from her. Indeed, every department that sees an achievement gap, or if we want to reframe it, an opportunity gap, where outcomes are predictable by race, should become students of her method, should have no business as usual until you are more successful in teaching Black and brown students, because we know we can teach because we do so well with white students. So let me share with you what Dr. Paula Park provides to have an impact that she has. I want you to close your eyes. Just take a moment and contemplate the magnitude of the impact that racial and cultural affirmation and validation have on young African-American and Black minds that have been relentlessly subjected to invalidation and marginalization, exclusion, negation in the American educational system. And then I want you to imagine arriving at a place where your race and culture is affirmed every day, all day, where the institution and its faculty consciously and subconsciously support your well-being without even having to think about it, where you're comfortable racially every day, all day, and where the centrality and the normativity of your race is so ingrained in the academy that it's neutral. It's invisible to the naked eye, where from the beginning of your formal and informal education, you are taught of the superior contributions of your people and that they have made to literature, science, technology, philosophy, fine and creative arts, business, and so much more, where the way you speak is valued and common and considered in the standard to be the standard of communicating, and where your natural and physical characteristics are the standard of beauty, excellence, dignity, and grace, where your mere embodiment represents the essence of goodness, virtuosity, integrity, and industry. And while white students in America know this value and invalidating experience from the start of their educational journey, African-American and Black students may travel their entire formal educational journey without ever having such an experience unless they have the great fortune to study with Dr. Parks. So faculty and staff of the California community colleges have the privilege of serving the largest number of African-American students who are in higher education. That is why it is imperative that we get it right, that we don't fail. Indeed, I may be preaching to the choir, but even the choir needs practice and has to learn new songs. And so I'm compelled to say why it matters. I'd like to remind us that we do live in a nation that is founded on white supremacy. It is a universal construct. It is not unique to the United States, but it is a pillar upon which this nation was founded, the government was established, and the Constitution was created. And as Bell Hooks stated in Teaching to Transgress, social and political constructions of oppression and discrimination against women and people of color remain embedded in the American political, economic, religious, and yes, educational institutions. It did not stop at the doors of the academy, is what I'm saying. And that means that our educational systems can and usually do perpetuate the very societal inequities that we profess to mitigate. But this is where Dr. Parks and her work come in. With culturally relevant pedagogy and processes that are grounded in the validation of students' experiences, history, and current reality, we as educators stand a chance of being successful in our endeavors. So Dr. Parks' work, this discussion, this issue, right here, right now, is all the more important. By celebrating her and learning from her and supporting her work, you are actually doing what Dr. Kendi Ibram calls the anti-racist work that makes sure our communities are not excluded, oppressed, and marginalized through practices and policies that are cloaked in the mantra of high standards and academic excellence, and rigor, and meritocracy. She demonstrates what it is to ground her profession and her craft in a strengths-based perspective. She models how educators can and should use their positions of power, influence, and consequence to make the necessary changes. And she uses her powerful voice to make a difference. She moves her students, who are an incredibly majestic people, to stay focused, to keep their eye on the prize, and to be young people on a mission, lest one forget. A lot of people endured a cramped, horrible sea journey, 400 years of legally sanctioned brutality and dehumanization and violence and torture, decades of civil rights struggle, and years of trying to educate themselves so that her students, your students, could sit in as students and scholars today. And to the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges, my hat is off to you for celebrating this great woman. I could not be more honored to have Dr. Paula L. Parks to hold the award of my namesake and my legacy, the Regina Stanback Stroud Diversity Award. Dr. Parks, congratulations, my sister. I humbly support you. I humbly salute you. Thank you.
Wow. Judge Jackson is not the only Black woman having a great day. I am so honored to be recognized by Dr. Stanback Stroud. She is a true champion of equity and an advocate for Black students. It means so much, and to hear her words, I had to bring a tissue with me. And it also means so much to be acknowledged here at Plenary with my Senate colleagues, my BC colleague, go Renegades, and my husband, who was kind enough to join me as well. Professionally, there is nothing that I would more want to be honored for. Being able to live out my passion in supporting and leading equity initiatives in general, and those that support Black students in particular, means so much.
BC's Emoja program that I started in 2015 with the support of the faculty, the support of the administration, and the support of the statewide organization has now grown to include 6 departments and an awesome staff and faculty. The success of the program are some of the elements that Dr. Stanback Stroud mentioned. The Afrocentric curriculum that allows students to understand that our history did not start with slavery, that Africa was the cradle of civilization, first to have universities and where everyone went to study. This history empowers students, and it also allows them to understand the present racism that they face. We support students in their life issues. We encourage them to persist. And all of this is done in love. So I have an ask of you. One of the pluses of this award is that I get the mic for a minute. So I have an ask that as you carry out your DEI work, your IDEA work, your social justice work, that it not be perfunctory, that it not be that workshop you have to attend so you can be on a hiring committee, that it not be that box you have to check off as you go through program review, that it not be that workshop that you have to attend as a new teacher, but that you do your work in love, that it be something that you feel in your soul, that you live out your empathy for students, that it come from your heart. This conference has had some wonderful workshops and great strategies for implementing DEI work. And I encourage you to take that toolkit back to your campuses. But the only way we will be truly effective in reaching students is that we operate through a fierce, uncompromising love. A fierce, uncompromising love for our students. And that is my ask. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, so honored.